Okay, good morning class. So in today's lesson we're going to look at last year's, no, not last year, year before, control test. We're just going to run through it. At this point you have answered these questions for homework, okay? The paper was 2 hours long for 100 marks. So in the previous lesson I couldn't get to the grade 11s, so I'm going to try and push it so that you can finish yours at least, okay? So in the 1.1, they've given, consider the following numbers. So the cube root of 20 is negative 27 is negative 3. This is the square root of any even number that is non-real or imaginary. The square root of 27 is 3 root 3, and this is irrational. So the question says, which of the following of these numbers is irrational? So of course it's going to be the square root of 27. Non-real is going to be the square root of negative 27. Okay. We must give from the listed numbers. We can't say 3 root 3 as a solution there. Okay, so we must give it from the listed numbers there. People in the next question, we are asked to simplify. People, to simplify, of course, is to get rid of this brackets here. We multiply n is negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times positive 2 is negative 5 times negative 2. Of course, it's positive 10 there. Okay, you all okay with that? You just stop me if you don't understand or I made a mistake or something. Okay. The next one, you should link those two together. So if I rearrange, it's going to be x plus 2 times x squared minus 2x plus 4 into x cubed minus 8. For those of you who can't see it. Some of you can see the link already, that the first term is squared, the last term is squared, that is plus, that is minus. X times y is, and x times 2 is 2x. So that is a resultant of the sum of cubes there. If that is the case, I can just multiply the first and the last, or in this case the first and the last. So that will simply give you x cubed plus 8 into x cubed minus 8. Again we have the conjugate pair which will lead into this difference of cubes. Again we multiply the first and the last. It's going to give you x6 minus 64. Okay. Now if you didn't know the rules, you are going to multiply and multiply and multiply. And if you had made no mistake, you should come to an answer of x6 minus 64. Okay? It is going to be easier, better for you if you knew the rules. But if you didn't, no problem. It's just going to be a longer sum for you to get that maximum mark. People, here we got the binomial square. If you again don't know the binomial square rule, you write 5x minus 3y times 5x minus 3. You write that twice and then you multiply. However, I know the binomial square rule, so it's the first term squared. It's going to give you 25x squared, that times 2. It's going to be negative 30xy. The last term squared is going to be plus 9y squared. Yes? Sorry? Okay, it's going to talk to me a little, okay? People, here's a binomial and a trinomial. Is the first term squared here? No. So automatically, I know it's not the case where I can multiply the first and the last. People, if you don't know when to apply that rule, then rather multiply the whole distribution law out with the brackets, okay? So we multiply 3x times 2x, it's going to give you 6x squared. 3x times negative 5y is negative 10xy. Plus 6x plus 2xy minus 5y squared plus 2y. So what we do now? We can add like terms in the bracket there, or I can multiply that negative 3. I'm going to go and multiply that negative 3 in one time, okay? So, is there any like term to 6x squared? No. So that's going to give you negative 18x squared. Yes? For this one here? In the bracket. So you got 6x squared minus 15xy. Absolutely. Thank you. Is everything else fine? Huh? What? Who corrected me? Nice. So it's negative 15xy. That one and this one is like terms, not so? So that's going to give us negative 13xy. Negative 13xy times positive 3 is positive 39xy. You all agree with that? And then x is on its own, so that 6x times negative 3 is negative 18x. Negative 3 times negative 5y is going to be positive 15y squared. Negative 3 times 2y is going to be negative 6y. So what do we do now? We look again for like terms. There's a lot of like terms here. The sum is fairly large. That one there and this one. Everything else is on its own. So I'm going to start with the x squared. So 25x squared minus 18x squared is 7x squared. Negative 30xy plus 39xy is positive 9xy. 9y squared plus 15y squared is going to be positive 24y squared. Not so? Minus 18x minus 6y. Is that correct? Who got that answer? Plus. Did I make a mistake?
No,
okay. Okay, so it's 1, 1. You know. Okay, any confusion here, people? No? Thank you once again. The next question, we are told that if x squared plus 1 over x squared is equal to 3, calculate the value. So what I do here is I first expand this. So this is a binomial square. The first term I get x squared plus that times 2. So x times 1 over x times 2. The x's cancel, not so? Leaves you with 2. Plus the last term squared is 1 over x. Again, if you don't know how to apply the binomial square, write the story out twice and multiply. But what do we know? We know that x squared plus 1 over x squared is going to be 3. So that means you say it's 3 plus 2, which is 5. Okay. Let's carry on with our lives. Question 2, factorize. People, what is common in the first two?
8.
Sorry? 8. 8 is common. Okay. So I'm left with 8 into 1 minus 9y. Here we have a common bracket. But y minus x is not the same as x minus y. So what do I need to do is I need to flip. So you've got k cubed, x minus y. Swap it around, negative comes out. Makes this negative, positive into the 13 into x minus y. So what is now common? X minus y. What are we left with? K cubed plus n 13. You think you're going to stop there? No. Why not? What can be done here? The sum of cubes. What's the cube root of k cubed? Plus the cube root of n cubed. And into the 30. Into the 10. So square the first term, I get k squared. That times that is going to give you k into the 10, but the opposite sign, so it's negative k into the 10, and the last term squared is into the 20. Okay? This is the one we are doing now. What type of factorization will occur here? Thoughts? Difference between two squares. How do we know that? Because the square root of 3x minus 4 squared is 3x minus 4. So it's 3x minus 4. That is minus, so 1 plus 1 minus. What's the square root of x squared minus 3x plus 4? X squared minus 3x plus 4. And what must I not forget? What must I not forget, people? The brackets is. Why must they go a bracket? More than one term following negative sign. So what's going to happen is 3x minus 3x cancel. 4 minus 4 cancel. So I'm left with x squared, or I can put it in a bracket and then remove the bracket afterwards. But never do we write one term inside the bracket. You all okay with that? And this is into. Get rid of the brackets then. It's going to be 3x minus 4 minus x squared plus 3x minus 4. Okay, so we're going to add like terms. Remember, to factorize, I must have one term as an answer. Write it in descending powers of x, so it's negative x squared plus 6x minus 8. But what do you notice the first term is? Negative. So what must happen? Take the negative out, so common factor. So it's negative x squared into x squared minus 6x minus 8. Plus 8, sorry. That's a trinomial inside the bracket. Can the trinomial factorize? It's 4 and 2, you need 4 and 2. Yeah, 4 plus 2 is 6. No? So that factorizes. Is that correct? X and x, 4 and 2. So there's our answer. Who got that answer? Who got this one here? You got the correct answer. This is the final answer. Are you serious? Did you get this one? Check the email. Oh, you gave me a shock. He's almost going to give you a chocolate. I feel like I made a mistake or something. Do you have the memo to this paper? Good. Okay, let's just check. When I put a 1 through x, it's going to be minus 1, so it's 1. It's going to be minus 3. Minus 2 is 4. So negative 3. I put the 1 through as negative 1 into 1 minus 3, 1 minus 2. So minus negative 2. Negative 1. So it's negative. Looks like I made a mistake. So if I put a 1 here, I'm going to get negative 1 squared minus 1 minus 3 minus 2 plus 4 is 2. So it's going to be 1 minus 4, which is negative 3. So if I put a 1 through the answer, I should also get negative 3. Okay? So that's negative 1. Squared is negative 1 into 1 minus 4, 1 minus 2. It's negative 1 into negative 3, negative 1. 1, 2, 3, negative is right. What did I calculate? So it's a negative 1, negative 3, 1, negative 1. Oh, here's my mistake. There's a 4 here, but I wrote a 3. Suppose I've been there. So the answer is correct. Okay. Right. 2.2. The reason why I was surprised that you said you got it right, because there was learners that actually worked, that worked hard. They didn't get the sum right last or the year before. So I remember that sum very good. So, are you working hard? No. Am I right? Are you working hard? Are you working hard? Okay, I don't see. I should take more note of you. No? What's your name? Sorry? Okay, I remember now. When I start marking the papers, I look for yours first. Nice. Says you are working hard, no? I can tell you how you're doing. People for which values of x is 25m squared minus 20m plus x a perfect square. So what does a perfect square mean? That I can write it as 5m minus something squared. Not so. But now you see for this number here, okay, how do we get that? I normally say 5 times this number here, whichever the number is, times 2. Then I get the middle term, in this case, which is negative 20. Not so. So to get this on its own, I must divide negative 20 by negative 5 and by 2. So in other words, that is going to give you negative 10, which gives you 2. So this missing link is 2. So what is the x value there? Therefore x has to be equal to? Okay, that's one way of looking at it. Or we could have said, we know that this is going to be 5m minus some number squared. Not so. So what is this going to be? 25 squared, 5m squared is 25m squared. That times 2 is going to be minus 5my times 2 is going to be 10my plus y squared. Okay. So this here, negative 10my, has to be equal to negative 20m. Not so. So negative 20m is equal to negative 10my. To get y on its own, I divide by negative 10m both sides. That cancels, so y is equal to 2. But while x is on y squared's place, not so. So y squared, so x is then equal to 4. Okay, this is something to think about. It was a nice question, eh? It's your perfect square trinomial. Let's look at number 10. Okay, let's get 10. Go through this one. Yes? Go back. Make quick, I need to finish the paper. Okay. Table 2.2, simplify. So of course, we're going to take the difference of two squares, so x plus 1, x minus 1, over 5x times 10x over x minus 1. So what happens is, x minus 1 cancels x minus 1, x cancels x, 5 into 5, 1, 5 into 10 twice. So it's 2 into x plus 1. You can write it as 2x plus 2 as well if you like. The next one, you're going to factorize the denominator first. So that gives us 1 over a minus 4 minus 1 over a plus 3 minus 21 over a minus 4a plus 3. So what's your LCM here? A minus 4, a plus 3. So that must be multiplied by a plus 3. So it's 1 into a plus 3. This must be multiplied by a minus 4. And this here by 1. That simply gives us a plus 3 minus a plus 4 minus 21 over a minus 4 a plus 3. So what do we do from here? We add up like terms. So that cancels, not so. Okay, don't shout at me, yo. Yes, what's the thing? A 3. Oh, is this a 3? Sorry, I wrote the 1. So it's going to be 3a plus 9. Not so? Thank you. So 3a minus a. It's going to give you 2a. 9 plus 4 is 13. No? Now 13 minus 21 is negative 8 over a minus 4, a plus 3. Okay. What can happen in the numerator now? You've got the common factor of 2. So you're going to take 2 out as a common factor. I'm left with a minus 4 over a minus 4 into a plus 3. So that cancels, leaves you with 2 over a plus 3. Okay. Thank you. The next one is going to be, they ask you to simplify and give your answer with positive exponents. If a fraction is raised to a negative, what happens to the fraction? Swap it around. So it becomes x over z plus 1. The next one, when we're multiplying at bases are the same, what do you do with the exponents? You add them. So it's plus negative x, so negative x. If we divide and bases are the same, what do you do with the exponents? You subtract them. So it's going to be minus x, which is 7. 2x minus x gives you 0. I can't leave it like that, because if I leave it like that, it's the exponent 1. So 7 to the 0 is 1. The next one, we need to break up 6 into products of its prime factors. Say that's 2 times 3 raised to the 2x times 11 to the 2x over 22 is 2 times 11 raised to the 2x minus 1 times 3 to the 2x. Bless you. Which will simply give us 2 to the 2x times 3 to the 2x times 11 to the 2x over 2 to the 2x minus 1 times 11 to the 2x minus 1 times 3 to the 2x. So that will simply give us 2 to the 2x minus 2x plus 1 times 3 to the 2x minus 2x times 11 to the 2x minus 2x plus 1. You see that, people? So that will simply give us 2, that cancels to the 1 times 3, that cancels to the 0 times, that cancels 11 to the 1. Anything to the power 0 is 1. So what's 2 times 11? 22. Your answer is, of course, 22. Okay. See the space first. Nope. Oops, I deleted something by mistake. .1.4. So we multiply the exponents out in the first bracket, so that will be a squared b minus 4c6 times a 8b negative 2c6 over a cubed b squared c8. When you're multiplying it by the same, we add the exponents. When you divide, you subtract. So that will be a 2 plus 8 is 10 minus 3. B negative 4 plus negative 2 is negative 6 minus 2. Times C 6 plus 6 is 12 minus 8. You don't have to, you could have gone straight into that answer there as well. So that will be A 7, B negative 8. Not so? C 4. But naturally this is over 1. So where must this be to the 8 go? The bottom. So it's A7, C4 over B8. Is that correct? Yes. Right. Yes? The different way, but you got the answer? Same answer. You get full marks. But you can use a calculator in this exam. Please don't forget. Alright, so what do we do here to get rid of the brackets? You can do it one of two ways, multiply it in. When you multiply and bases are the same, you add the powers. So 1 plus negative 1 is 0. Y minus is the 1 on the y. So it's x, y to the 0. Anything to the power 0 is 1. So it's y minus x. That's one way. Otherwise, you could have seen xy into 1 over x minus 1 over y. Which simply gives us xy over x minus xy over y. Which is y minus x. Which is the same answer. Okay? You could have gone and found the LCM as well, and then the LCM would have cancelled this xy, which would still give you y minus x. Okay. The next question is where we need to break this up into products of its prime factors. So that's 13 to the x times 13 to the 1 minus 13 to the x over 13 to the x plus 13 to the x times 13 to the minus 1. What can be taken out as the common factor here? 13 to the x. I'm left with 13 minus 1 over 13 to the x into 1 plus 3 to the minus 1. That cancels, not so? 13 minus 1 is? 13, okay. I'm going to get there. Thank you. Making a mistake there. 30 minus 1 is? 12 over 1 plus 1 over 30, which is 14 over 30. Okay? So it's divided by 14 over 30, which gets multiplied by 13 over. Is that correct? It was 1 over 13, it's 14 over 13. Becomes 13 over 14. No? Which now gives us 2 goes into here 6 times, 2 goes into there 7 times. So my answer is, sorry, 78 over 7. Is that correct? Right, the next one. I don't think we're going to finish. How far are we? Jesus. Yes? Talk? He's going to tell me it's okay. Okay, nice. Right, the next one. People, if 5 to the x is f, express that in terms of f. So my idea is to write 5 to the exponent x like that. Okay, so what I do is, I say 2 times. 25 can be written as 5 squared, raised to the x plus 1. To get rid of the bracket is 2 times 5, 2x plus 2. I'm going to break that up. Becomes 2 times 5 to the 2x times 5 squared. We're going to write that as 5 to the x raised to the power 2 times 20. Can you see that, people? Why did I write it as 5 to the x raised to the power 2? Because 5 to the x is f. So it's 2 times f squared times 5 squared, which is 25. 25 times 2, of course, is 50 f squared. Okay? Let's move on swiftly. It's simply going to be, people, anything to power 0 is 1. So 5 to the 3x minus 4 is equal to 5 to the 0. Therefore, when bases are the same, exponents are equal. So 3x is equal to 4, x is then equal to 4 over 3. The next one. We're going to take that over, becomes 1 over 7 to the x equals, now 4 plus 5 is 49. So 49 is 7 squared, not so. I bring that up. What's going to happen? The x becomes negative. So it's 7 to the negative x. Therefore, negative x equal to 2, x is then equal to negative 2. The next one. Sorry about this. Now I'm trying to finish as much as we can. This is our last lesson before you're writing your exam. Okay, so again, we're going to break this up and break that up. Why? So that we can factorize. So it's 2 to the x times 2 to the 2 plus 2 to the x equals 5 to the y times 5 to the 1 minus 5 to the y. So 2 to the x is common factor. I'm left with 2 squared plus 1 equals 5 to the y is a common factor, which is 5 to the 1 minus 1. So 2 to the x times, that's going to give us 5 equals, that's going to give us 4 times 5 to the y. Not so? So people, that is the exponent 1. So I know what y is already. Not so? Because we can equate the bases here. So the exponents, the corresponding exponents will be equal. Not so? So the 4 can be written as what? 2 squared. So therefore x is equal to Was x 2 years, and y is equal to 1. So the question is, what is x minus y? So it's going to be 2 minus 1, which is 1. So x minus y is just simply 1. The next one, question 4, they say solve for x in the following equation. So what we need to do first, we need to get rid of the brackets. So it's going to be 2x minus 8 is equal to x minus 3x plus 12. X is one side, numbers are the other side. So it's 2x minus x plus 3x equals 12 plus 8, which is 20. That is going to give us 4x. So x is equal to 5. You're dividing by 4 both sides. Okay. The next question is 4.1.2. So what I can do is one of two things here. I can see from here that the x is equal to 5 over 6. If you got a fraction on either side, you can take the reciprocal of both sides. You can just flip it around, and that's how you get 5 over 6. If you didn't know that, no problem. Fraction on either side, you cross multiply. So 1 times 5 is 5, 6 times x is 6x. Divide by 6 both sides. So x equal to 5 over 6. So we'll get a full mark, okay? The next one, I'm going to solve for x here. We take out a common factor. And what's our common factor here? 3x. I'm then left with x minus 5. So therefore, 3x is equal to 0. X is then equal to 0. Or x minus 5 is equal to 0. X is equal to. Okay. Yes. You got x is equal to 0 and x equal to 5. You got the 0 here as well. Nice. Full marks for you. Okay. You see, we just want to give the children full marks. Is it the children that want it, no? You guys don't want the marks. Okay. People, the next question. What are we going to do first here? What are we going to do first? Huh? Multiply, get rid of the bracket. Why? Because that must be equal to 0 to apply the 0 factor rule. X times x squared, x times negative 5 is negative 5x, plus 3x, negative 5 times 3 is negative 15, minus 20 is equal to 0. So it becomes x squared minus 2x minus 35 equals 0. Trinomial. Trinomial is 7 and 5 minus plus. So x minus 7 is equal to 0, so x is equal to 7. Or x plus 5 is equal to 0, x is then equal to minus 1. The 0 factor rule, you can't say x plus 3 is equal to 20 and x minus 5 is equal to, no, you can't do that. It only works if it's equal to 0, the 0 factor rule. People, 4.1.5. First factorize the denominator. So it's 1 minus 1 over x plus 3 equals 5 over x plus 3x minus 2. So what's my LCM here? X plus 3